Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you wherever you are across the world. Welcome to Live a Phenomenal Life show, hosted by me, Madame Merola, the bank creator that ignites the beautiful and bold, audacious, no excuses, God's masterpiece in you. Yay! Welcome. It's another awesome Monday in the month of January, the first month of the year 2022. And already the year is already in a huge kickstart, and I hope you are not lagging behind because time waits for no one, no one, no one, no one. So if you snooze, you lose. So you got to get on board with living your dreams, with going for your goals, and also obtaining your gold, which is your God ordained legacy and dreams. So, yes, guys, welcome. Once again, if this is your very first time watching the show, my name is Madame Merola. I'm your host, and this is season 5, episode 15 of Live a Phenomenal Life show. If you've not watched any of our shows before, don't worry. You can find catalogs of it on my Facebook and YouTube page, Madame Merola, where you'll be able to learn things that will not just help you on a personal level, but also on a professional level to not just be a phenomenal person, but also live a phenomenal life. So I am super excited to have you guys here. So as you're joining in, say hello to me and also share this video with others because I would love for you all to be here to also welcome my guest, energetic EJ Ejiro Osakede, that is here with me all the way from the United Arab Emirates to talk about the necessity for authenticity. So that's the topic we have for today. So, as it's our usual practice, I would love for you guys to share with me your one word for this week. The one word that is going to help you to stay focused on your dreams and on your goals that will also make you remember what you're trying to achieve the most this week. What is your one word? I want to hear it, guys. So start typing it on the screen. I can see some people are logged in. Say hello to me, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook. I will be able to see it right here from the studio, and I would also acknowledge you. So, thank you guys for joining, and also make sure you share this video link right now with others. Okay, what is your one word for the week? I want to hear it. I can't wait. Okay, so while I wait for you guys to share it with me, I'm going to open up my phone so that I can get the bio of my speaker that's joining me today. As I said, energetic AJ, who is also known as Ejiro Osakede. She's the one that I have. She's already here in the back studio waiting to come and charge you guys up with the topic of today, which is all about the necessity for authenticity. Everyone knows I love this topic because there are many of us that think that we're very authentic, and then by the time you actually start to do a deep dive, you realize that you're not as authentic as you think you are. And it can be a shocker to many. So it's good for us to be able to know that we are lagging behind where it comes to authenticity. Okay. So, what is our one word for the week? For mine, it is integrity. So, I want to ensure that I maintain my integrity in all that I do, in all that I say, and then in all that I also want to see myself doing in the future. So, integrity is my one word for the week. So, what is your one word for the week? Share with me. So, word for the week is integrity. Sharing it with you guys. Okay, so putting it on the screen in case you come late and then you want to know what is the word for the week. Okay, so blessed morning to you as well, Michael Sewell from Jamaica. Thank you so much for joining us on Facebook. All right, so I just asked, what is the one word for the week for you? So I've shared mine is integrity. I would like to know what your one word for the week is as well before we get the show started, and I'll bring my guest up on the screen. Okay, so while we're doing that, let me read her bio so that you guys can get to know who this absolutely fabulous guest that I have today is. Let me bring up her picture as well. Just say that you guys can continue to be in the state of anticipation. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let me get the comment off as I talk about who energetic EJ is. Okay, Ejiro Osakede, popularly known as the energetic EJ, is a woman of many expressions. She is a singer, trainer, sound engineer, voice-over artist, podcaster, and virtual event planner and moderator. She's an audiobooks creative for African authors with works from notable authors like Ediri Edowa's Amazon bestselling book, The Productivity Checklist, Amaka Aziz, My Sister's Bestie, Adewale Richards' Three Things, The Gospel Project, and more. She is dedicated to training and supporting audiobooks creators, narrators, and podcasters by creating content and courses that help them thrive in their craft. As well as producing and providing support, she also has a close community where she's able to help others. She is the convener of the Becoming Summit, an initiative with the objective to awaken in the young generation, those that are between the ages 18 to 35, a desire to be a better version of themselves. I love that. And she has reached out to people across Africa, Europe, and Asia, spanning several countries across this continent to ensure that they fit for their purpose in life. Ejiro is a master storyteller, and her podcast, the Afrocentric podcast, focuses on sharing content that speaks to self improvement and self development, helping people find their voices, tell their stories, and spread the message of hope. She is an inspiration to many across the globe. Wow, that is the guest that I have for us right now. Are you guys ready for her? Whoa, 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 whoa. I need to ensure that you guys are ready before I bring her up on the screen. Thank you so, so much for just being here with us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much time, let me bring up on stage the one and only energetic EJ.
Hello, hi,
Hello,
everybody.
my sister.
Hi, good
Welcome.
afternoon from the side. How are you, Madame Merola? Thank you so much for having me here.
I'm doing phenomenal. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation to be a guest today on Live a Phenomenal Life Show. Energetic EJ. Wow. Thank you so much. It's good to have people that are just as energetic as I am. So I don't have the title
You know?
energetic, but I believe that I have a lot of energy as well because we're talking about being authentic, right? So I have to call it as it is. So, just beyond the titles, we also have to embody what we say we are. So, welcome
Mm,
once again to Live a Phenomenal Life Show. So, ladies and
thank you.
gentlemen, this is my guest for today, and we're going to kick off with affirmations. So, I got the box
Ooh,
out, and I'm going to shake it, shake it, shake it, and select any five randomly. And then I will read that, and then Energetic EJ is going to share some of her favorite affirmations with us as well. Okay, because we believe that the basis of any foundation of anything is so important. So, yes,
mhm,
yes, yes, we need to speak affirmations to make sure that we are wired right mentally, physically, and emotionally and
mhm,
spiritually as well. So, I've got three cards out, the fourth one, and then let me dig deep to the bottom to get the fifth one. Yes. Okay, so I've got Michael Sewell welcoming you to the show. So thank you, Michael,
thank
for welcoming
you.
EJ as well. So I've got one, two, three, four, five. Yes. Okay. So are we ready? The first card says, in my life, I am my own hero. I have what it takes. I have the needed qualities to be successful. I am evolving to be my best possible self daily. Woohoo! I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, the second card says, I am prosperous in all that I do. My
mm.
ideas are prosperous. My life is prosperous. And I'm able to attract prosperous experiences into my life daily. Can I get an amen for that one?
Amen.
Woohoo! Yes, I love it. Okay, the third card says, daily I feel grateful and blessed to be alive and well. My life is remarkable and I'm
Mm,
enjoying every moment of it. I am happy. Yes, yes, yes. That is so true. So the next
love
card says, I take risk with ease. I
it.
go beyond my comfort zone and stretch towards the higher and better version of myself. I am bodacious.
Mm,
Woohoo! And then the fifth and final part says, I have a positive attitude about all that concerns me. I make things happen with my goal getter spirit. Yes. Woohoo! So those are the five cards, affirmations that I have for you guys today from the Gold Digger collection. Speak affirmations to yourself. So, Ejiro, sorry, energetic EJ, can you kindly share with us your favorite affirmation of the day?
hmm. Okay, so my affirmation is one that was that we used when I was in a particular program, a particular coaching program last year, put together by Bankole Williams, and it's called SOA, right?
Yeah.
Science of Outstanding Results, and I just love it. Like I've since last year, so I have my affirmations at every clock hour. So I have different affirmations that come up at every clock hour. So it's one of the ones that come up, and it says, I am the captain of this colony of 50 trillion cells. You know,
Hmm.
daily, I can I oof, I need to, because the thing is, I just play it and then affirm after it, right? Um, I'm the captain of this 50 trillion cells. Daily, I am. Why did I just flew out of my head?
You can have it.
Daily, I am faithful to this calling, manifesting a consistent stream of harmony in my community. In
Lovely.
spite of whatever happens, my default response is peace. I always operate from a place of rest, a deep
Mm,
inner knowing that I got this. I am
yeah.
mindful. I have a peculiar mastery of catching disempowering thoughts and instantaneously replacing them with positive, empowering one. I am emotionally aware. I stop
Mm.
myself from defaulting into negative emotions,
Come on
replacing
now.
them immediately with positive emotions of love, joy, and peace. I embrace the grandest version of myself. I embrace my magnificence as my truest identity. Ah!
Come on now.
I am whole, like a perfect symphony. My cells resonate in harmony, bringing to me soundness of mind, good health, and well-being. I cherish and guard my inner peace. As the world around me moves, I continue to exude stability. This is my modus operandi.
Come
My
on now.
results are outstanding. They cause expressions of awe from my loved ones, affirming to me that I am constantly growing in leaps and bounds. Finally, I can boldly say, I have attained mastery as I live a rich, blissful, rewarding, and fulfilling life. Amen, amen, and amen.
Powerful, powerful. I absolutely love those affirmations. Thank you so much for sharing those with us. And thank you to Bankole Williams that came up with the
Absolutely.
program SOAR for also having those affirmations for all those that partook of that program. Thank you, Energetic EJ, for sharing that with us. So, right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start the show proper because I feel like, we need to start to dig deep into this whole topic of authenticity. But before we do that, let's find out a little bit more about our guest for today, Energetic EJ. How did she become this voiceover artist and a convener of a program whereby she's using her voice to do so many amazing things? And of course, it's part of her journey to being an authentic person as well. So, Energetic EJ, can you share your backstory with us as to how you found your authentic self and are using the things that you know resonates with you to live a life that you know is your purpose?
Okay, so it's going to be a very short one. Like it's going to be very summarized. So I would say that for the longest time, I've always been this, lively person since I was young, since I was a kid. I'm a sanguine, so I'm always like everywhere, extra. But for the longest time, um, I guess when I was growing, when I was still a little child, my parents, although they weren't that educated, they were
Mm-hmm.
they were free spirited, so they allowed us grow, they allowed us be, they allowed us explore, right? But as we grew, we mixing up with other people, people started to give off, their own, perception of who they think you are, and so it became like, oh, you're too much, or why you this like this, right? And so I would always try to fit into different circles by trying to fit in, weigh what is going on there and try to blend in like a chameleon, right? But I've been doing that almost all my life. And to be honest, me entering or starting, because I feel like being authentic is a it's a journey rather than a destination. So as we evolve, we get to enter into a newer dimension of authenticity. So my journey of entering into consciously entering into my authentic self started in 2020. I don't know whether to say all thanks to COVID or not. I have no idea. But I know it started in 2020 in the middle of COVID when the world was in lockdown and we couldn't go out and anything. So something happened to me in the early period of 2020, just before COVID hit, before the shutdown started. I've been in relationships, friendships and that for a while. But I really don't like have many girlfriends like that. Like I'm like, "Ah, I don't like girls. Girls too like, well, they too have wahala. I rather have boys as friends." But then I got into this friendship that was so like I was so sure this was a divine relationship. I
Mm-hmm.
was so sure because the way it all happened, it felt like right in time. So I was glad for the first time. I was very open to this friendship. I was vulnerable. Like I really wanted the friendship to grow. But alas, I had this thing of inauthenticity, trying to
Mm-hmm.
blend and trying to please people, not want to hurting people and losing
Yeah.
yourself in the process. And so most times I'll sabotage myself. So something happened with this friend of mine, and what I didn't want to happen was what happened eventually. I didn't want to hurt her, but in doing it the way that I felt was right, eventually hurt her, and then she cut off ties from me. Like she literally said, you know what, I don't want to have anything to. That was the first time, that was the first breakup in my whole life that has really affected me. Not even a romantic breakup affected me that much. But so I'm serious. I literally wept for days. I
Mm-hmm.
cried, like, no, I knew this was supposed to be a divine relationship. Like, what did I do? What have I done? That broke me for 3 days straight. In fact, I even cried. I wept to somebody I just met on Instagram on this matter. It was bad. I was so pained. I was so pained. But it got me to ask very important like questions like, why did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
And how can we stop this from happening again? Right? And that was when I started to ask myself those important questions like, who really are you? What really do you want? What really don't you want? Right? And then, well, I don't know. I just thank God for everything because in all things we give thanks. Then COVID hit. We couldn't go anywhere and all of that. And that was when I really started to look at coaching, right? I really entered into coaching communities, did a lot of programs back to back because there was no place to go anyway. So it was online. So I started entering into that space of coaching. And that was when I started to see that, oh, okay, I really needed to know me first, and I needed to
Mm-hmm.
love me first before I'm able to give it out to others. And that was when the journey started. It was in 2020 that I rediscovered myself, met myself afresh, fell in love with myself afresh, accepted myself, my good, my bad, my ugly, knowing that I am not faultless and it's okay. I am a work in progress. And so embracing all of that, all of me, I think this is all of me. If you want me, fine. If you don't, it's okay. I'm a work in progress. And in accepting that, I came into this space. Of course, into the space of, audio and all of that. I've been doing that for years. I started in the audio space, like officially, like let's say I started going for trainings and all of that in 2014. But way before then, I've started to explore because I don't know, I just love everything. I love to create. I love to create, right? So I've been exploring. But all of those things were taking place, but without me really getting to know me. So it was
Mm.
just 2020 that I really began to look inwards. And that was when I discovered that, this energy is not a bad, it's a gift. And that was when I started to call myself the energetic EJ, and it's stuck since then. And literally I'll be in a conversation with people, and in the first 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, like, I love your energy. I'm like, yeah, thank you. So yeah, that's just the whole, like, that's the short story in a nutshell.
Thank you so much for sharing your backstory. And isn't it so fascinating to to hear you share the fact that it's just 2020 that you finally found your own self to be able to say that, okay, you know what? This is me. I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be. I am who I say I am, and I accept myself the way I am. And I'm not going to fight myself anymore. I'm not going to try and change what ought not to be changed about me. And that is
Absolutely.
authenticity in definition. It's about you accepting yourself and living from that space of knowing what your values are, knowing who you are as a person, and saying that even if other people are not okay with it, I'm still going to be myself, you know? And many of us cannot honestly say that because we are people pleasers. We're always trying to win the approval of others. We're always seeking external validation. We want to be loved. We want to be liked to the detriment of forsaking our own true identity.
Mm,
And at the end of the day, you cannot have what I call bliss from within when you're living outside your authentic self. It's just impossible. That's why I say that many people will say that, oh, but energetic EJ, you've always been someone that's confident and stuff like that. But then you was saying it that, look, I was not being true to myself until 2020. And I hope that blesses somebody that's listening right now that it's not a matter of age. You can discover who you are today and choose to start to embody that true identity and tell yourself that, irregardless of what other people say, irregardless of the shortfalls that's going to happen, whereby some people are going to leave my life and stuff,
mm,
I'm still going to honor myself and honor who my creator has made me to be and stay true to that rather than be someone that is fake or someone who is not true to the core of who they are. Thank you so
mm.
much for sharing that. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Wow. So, if you could just summarize the definition of authenticity in like few words, what will you define it as then? For someone who's still saying, okay, so what should we say authenticity is?
Mm. Okay, so I'm going to use my own definition. So you can check the in dictionary for yours for the general definition. But from my perspective, I would say authenticity is being true to who you are. And so you need to first answer the question of who you are. You need to be
Mm-hmm.
clear of your
Mm-hmm.
identity, right? And once you find out who you are, just be true to that. That is authenticity. And just like, authenticity is a journey because we are evolving beings.
Hmm. I love that.
Literally, this me that is sitting in front of you today is not the same me that crossed from 2021 to 2022. I am an upgraded version of what I was in 2021, right? So my
Mhm.
authenticity game also upgraded. So I am showing up stronger in who I am this year than I did last year because something has shifted in my existence. Something has shifted in my mind or in the way of being. So being
Mm.
authentic is being true to yourself as you evolve as a person.
I don't even think I can add any extra words to that because you literally spoke my mind and exactly what I always say, that being true to yourself at the current space in which you're with. Because I always tell people that we're forever transforming and evolving. We're not meant to be static. We're not meant to be the same person in terms of mindset, heart set, physical set, and emotional set, or even spiritual self. If there cannot be any growth within, then something is wrong with you.
Mm,
And that's why I always say that an authentic person is always going to be somebody that will be like, you know what? I love me. I accept me. So I say that someone that has radical acceptance for who they are, someone who
no.
is brutally honest with themselves to say that, okay, I know what all my flaws are, I know what my strengths are. I am willing to magnify the strengths and minimize the weaknesses, and
Weaknesses.
also be vulnerable enough to speak my truth to say that I know that I am a flawsome being. Because I always say that we are all awesome in our having our flaws and everything, because that's also what makes us human, right? Because if we were
Absolutely.
absolutely perfect, then we will want to become God. We will say
Mm,
that, you know what, since I can do everything and I'm perfect, then we'll start to operate or feel like we can operate like God. And then we're going to get
mm.
in trouble again.
Again.
We're gonna end up becoming like Lucifer, right? Try to be God and be like, all right, you got to go. So, you know, it keeps us humble enough to know that we are work in progresses. That's the way I
Mm,
like to call it. That we're all work in progresses. That there are always going to
absolutely.
be things that we can work on. There are always things that we can improve on. There are always
Improve
things
on.
that we can tap into the next level of our higher self, because we never fully arrive. And that's why I love when you say that it's a journey and not a destination, because we never fully arrive. Every day should bring about something new, a new idea, a new way of being to embrace ourselves. And
Mhm.
until we get to that mindset that if we don't embrace ourselves first wholeheartedly, don't expect anybody else to embrace
Embrace
you
it.
wholeheartedly.
Absolutely.
And that
Absolutely.
is one of the beautiful things I love about owning your authenticity, which I'd shared before in one of my previous shows. That when you own your authenticity, when you own your true identity and self,
Mm,
you
mm.
are telling the world that, hey, this is who I am, not who you say I am. If you don't
Mm.
want to be involved in my space, that's very okay. But don't expect me to be something I am not just to make you feel more comfortable, just to make
Mm.
you feel more brilliant, just to make you feel much more valid in life. Because that's what happens. We tend to shift part of who we are, depending on who we're with, because that other person probably doesn't like us being loud and
Like
proud
this. Yeah.
and full of who we are. So we say, oh, I don't want to lose this person. So you dim your light. You reduce your essence and effervescence of yourself. And that is not glorifying your creator, because he did not create you to dim the essence of who you are. So,
No.
can you share with us what are the benefits we get from living from a state of true authenticity?
Benefit number one. Benefit number one is the freedom that you get to
Yes.
enjoy. The
Woo.
freedom of just being. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Just this is me, and I accept me for me. I am not flawless. Like Madame Merola said, I am flawsome. Yes, I've got a lot of flaws. I mess up multiple times in a day, but that does not reduce my awesomeness. Like, I am still awesome, even though I'm a work in progress. Because I know that this phase that I'm in, accepting, recognizing what makes up what my flaws are,
Yeah.
also helps me know what work I need to do, helps me know what things I need to stop doing, I need to start doing, I need to do more of, or I need to do less of. It's a work in progress. So I know that this is just a phase, that in a short while from now, I am going to upgrade from where I am now, from version EJ or version energetic EJ, whatever number I am now. So it
We lose
doesn't
count
stop
after a
me.
while, right?
It doesn't
I don't know
stop.
what number I'm on to.
I I think I've updated my system so much that I've lost count of the new OS, right? I
Mm-hmm.
just put out a new version, new point, new point, whatever, right? So it does not stop my awesomeness, but it's just a thing that we keep getting better at it. And I think it begins with that awareness, just that awareness of, okay, where am I at now? Who am I really? What do I really want? What, in the picture of who God says I am, how am I doing?
Yeah.
Right? So that's the one thing that we can always get feedback from, right? Who God says you are. That's a
Yeah.
place that you can always check, rather than, so you check that against who I am now and who I was yesterday. So this is what who God says I should be, or this is who God says I am, actually, not I should be. Who God says I am, He already finished His work, right?
That's
But
right.
we are then the one beholding Him and transforming. We are the one beholding Him, and as we behold Him, we transform, we transform into that image that He made us to be. So being authentic is just, you know, continually looking at that picture of what God is showing us and just conforming to it and morphing into it. And so
Absolutely.
the benefit is the freedom that comes with it. The second is you you then are more fit for purpose, because when you accept who you are, you understand what your giftings are, you understand
Love it.
what your gifts are. So, and when you know what your gifts are, what else do you do with your gift? You serve with it. And when you serve with your gifts, people are blessed, people are
Yeah.
transformed, people are inspired, right? So that's the number two
Yeah.
thing it does for you when you live in authenticity. Number one, the freedom you enjoy. Number two, you are more fit for purpose, because now you know, okay, this voice that I have, it might not be the coolest voice in the world, but I
Oh
love
yeah.
it. And I know that there is one person. For personally, I'm a one person, right? Anything I do, for anything that motivates me, is like there is one person that needs to hear
Mm-hmm.
this message, that needs to hear this message, that this message is just going to do something for. So because of that
Mm-hmm.
one person, let me share it. Because I know that if I'm the only one on earth, or if I was the only one on earth, God will still have sent Jesus to die for me, right? So
That's right.
modeling that, if there's one person that my message is meant for, if there's one person that needs to see me in my element as energetic EJ and get gingered, to step out
Mm.
of their own comfort zone, to say, if Ejiro can do it, I can too. If Ejiro can do this, she doesn't have two heads. I too can do it. Do you understand? So when you are living in your authentic self, you blossom, and when you blossom, you help other people blossom, because we are not created in isolation. We all
No.
have a connection to each other. There is one thing that you have that I need. There is one thing I have that you need, at least one thing. So if I don't live in my authentic self, You might not discover that one thing that you need that I have.
Mm.
And if I don't live in my authentic self, I may not bless that life that needs to be blessed by me because I am just me. So that's the second thing that being authentic does for you. And then it helps you love you in your totality.
Come
Like,
on.
think of the biggest, think of anybody that you think in this world. They have flaws. They have flaws. They have something they're battling with. They have one challenge, that they have one thing in their life that they wish they could take away. I am a Christian. Madame Merola is a Christian, so we're going to plug it in. It's going to flow in somehow. But
Mhm.
it's like if you listen to what Paul said at some time, he said, "See, this one thing, I kept asking God, take away this one." Of course, we don't know what the turn is. It could be an infirmity. It could be a weakness that he was struggling with. It could be anything. It could be that
Yeah.
he had anger issues, that when he's angry, things destroyed. And he's been praying that,
Mm.
God, I am an apostle. I'm a leader in your vineyard. This thing has to go before it destroys me. And what
Yeah.
did God say to him? Says, my grace is enough for you. For my strength made known in your weakness. Just like it's
Mm.
mentioned earlier, it makes you dependent on God. Those flaws that we have, it makes you dependent on Him. It makes you go back to Him always. Oh my God, I don't mess up again. No, Lord, I've done it again. No, please help me. Because why? It also helps you give grace to others.
Yeah.
Like, have you noticed that if you've gone through something before, it's easy for you to empathize with others that are going
Hmm.
through it?
Absolutely.
And
Mm.
that actually speak also to our flaws. So when we look at the flaws, yes, sometimes it makes us feel bad because as humans we want to be perfect. Everybody is trying to strive for perfection, right? But
Yeah.
perfection is a mirage. It's not real. Doesn't exist. The only
It's
perfect
an
being is
illusion.
God.
That's
The
right.
only perfect being is God, right? So all we can do is try and do our best to keep getting better at who we are on this part of eternity. The only time we will be perfect is when we transition into that new world order, right? So when you see your flaws as a channel of empathy, then you won't beat yourself too much. But at the same time, as you work on it, you are really paying attention to working on that flaw so that you get better because you have it at the back of your mind that this flaw, this challenge, this habit, this sickness, this whatever it is that I'm not happy about, I'm not proud about, that I'm working on. If I can figure out how I'm able to work on it to get out of it, it will
Mhm.
become a solution to somebody else tomorrow. I just even enter into that reality like, oh, wow. So rather than beat myself up about this issue, about this challenge, about this flaw, right? Rather, I'll pay attention and say, okay, God,
Yeah.
it's me and you. How do I sort this thing out? Help me. And as it's helping me, I should be paying attention. So that tomorrow there will be a young lady that will come to me or that will hear of that is saying, I'm going through this thing. Like, I always do this thing. I can't change. It's destroying my life. I'm giving up. And I can boldly tell the person that, hey, girl, don't.
Hmm.
Because I've been there. I've gone through it. This and
Yeah.
this and this and this was how I was able to scale through. And perhaps that person applies it and they're able to get the same results. Amazing. Isn't that why we have books today? Isn't that why we have courses? Isn't that why we have coaches? They've gone
Yeah.
through this thing, they've figured out the solution, and they are now sharing the solution with the world. And we apply these things and we get similar results, if not better results. So, being your authentic self is like accepting you in your totality, even with your flaw, helps you see how you can transform that flaw, working together with God to transform that flaw into a strength. And by the time you're able to do that, it becomes a solution for others. So it's like, but how would I coin that third? Is it third or fourth now? Fourth, right?
Hold
It
on,
says,
as you said, the third one is it helps you love you in your totality. That was the third
so
one.
this fourth one, I'm trying to see how I can coin you because I just had the concept. This fourth one is it helps you appreciate your flaws.
Mm.
It helps
Okay.
you because when you are in your authentic self, you appreciate your flaws and you just know that it's a work in progress. I'll get
Yeah.
better, right? I'll get better at it. Yes. So, yes.
Awesome. I love it. I love the things you were talking about. And you just hit the nail on the head when you were talking about the fact that number one, freedom to be who you have been called to be. And then number two, you're more fit for purpose. Number three, it helps you love you in your totality and also allows you to appreciate your flaws. And as you were saying that, one thing kept resonating back in my mind, which is that your true value also gets to be more evident when you're operating from a place of authenticity,
Authenticity.
you know? And the picture that came to my mind is basically like anything that has been created, that if we do not know the purpose of something, then abuse is inevitable. And sometimes you end up being misused because of the fact that you've not embraced your true authenticity, your true purpose. So if this laptop that I'm using right now, if I didn't know what the purpose was and I just thought it was just something to be able to use as a camera for me to view myself and stuff, then I'm not using, I'm not seeing the full value of this laptop until I
Yeah.
actually know what it's meant for. It's the same thing with us. Many of us complain that, oh, people are not appreciating us, or people are not really getting the essence of who we are, because we
Mm.
ourselves have not started to appreciate ourselves. We've ourselves have not started to see the magnificence of who we are. We ourselves have not started to
Woo.
embrace the uniqueness of who we are unapologetically and say that, you know what? I am this kind of flavor for a certain reason, right? You cannot expect salt to function like sugar, because at the
Mm.
end of the day, they've got different purposes. Even though they bring flavor, they bring different kind of flavor,
Different
and
flavor.
each has
Woo.
its own place. So when you want to start to function like someone else because you like the flavor they bring, you have missed you have missed it, because that person has their own unique flavor they bring to the place. You can admire them, you can celebrate them, but you also have to appreciate your own flavor that you bring into this world, saying that in this lifetime, even if we bring this lifetime to come again another thousand of years, nobody in the totality can be Madame Merola, can do Madame Merola, can think Madame Merola, can diffuse the essence.
Preach it, sister.
And it
Woo.
comes from authenticity. It comes from that
So good.
full place of knowing that I am who I am for a reason. So my
Mm.
stubbornness is for a reason. My craziness is for a reason. My over the top behavior is for a reason. My
Absolutely.
flamboyance is for a reason.
Ooh.
Your energy is for a reason. But many people don't see that. They want you to fit into the mold that they want you to actually be part of. And when you say no, there is this discord because they're like, oh, you're just being stubborn, or you don't listen and stuff. And I just want somebody to be encouraged by the fact that not everybody is going to see your true value until you yourself start to see your own true value and accept yourself for who you are, and be okay with those that never ever get to value you at the fullness of who you are. It's okay, because if some people don't get you, I believe you're doing something right. Because if everybody likes you, if everybody gets you, then you're
Something's
phony.
wrong.
You
Something's
are a
wrong.
phony. That means you are just acting. Every time you're just trying to bend to fit into what this person wants. And when
Chameleon.
you're with the next person, you bend again to fit into what that other person wants. And that is
Mm.
not being authentic. Authenticity is saying that no matter what it takes, no matter what it's going to cost me, I'm going to stay
Mm.
true to my values. I'm going to
Yeah.
stay true to the core of who I've been designed masterfully by God as, because God is in the business of creating masterpieces. He does not
Absolutely.
create inferior products. He does not create things that are mistakes and then he says, oh, let me try and
Let me
manage it.
patch
God
it.
does not
No.
manage. He does not manage. He is the perfect of all things. He is the master creator. Everything God
Mm.
is, He has taken His time to create it. He said, while you were yet in your mother's womb, I
I
I
knew
opened you.
you.
I knew. When he says
Woo.
that every hair on your head, he knows that. So that means that the detailing that goes into the formation of who you are is
Mm,
second to none, that no human being has that same amount of detailing. And then for someone else that is a created being to come and tell you that there's something wrong
otherwise.
with you because you do not fit into the picture of what they want you to be. Please, with all braggadociousness,
Respect
tell
and
them, I'm sorry, but you're not seeing well. Because if you are seeing well, you will see the
you will
fullness of
know.
God's manifestation in
You will
me.
know.
And it's okay if you don't get it. I understand that it is not revealed to all
To
men.
everybody.
To be able to understand the grandness of who I am. So it's
So good.
okay. I forgive you, advance forgiveness, that you might never get it, that you
That's
might
it.
never see it, but that don't worry. Those who need the value that I bring,
I
they will see
carry.
it.
You would
They will
appreciate
see it.
it.
They will hear my voice, and something inside them will rip up. They would just catch fire with
Absolutely.
whatever I do because they are the ones meant to enjoy
To
the
enjoy the
benefit
value.
of me living and breathing the essence of who I am in my true authenticity.
Wow.
We
So
need to
good.
get to that space. And that
So
place
good.
only comes from embracing yourself. And that's why I love that sentence, radical acceptance. Radical acceptance of yourself and radical acceptance of other people to be who they want to be and also be in their own space if they don't want to be in your own space. It's okay. It's not a competition and it's not fights. Don't
Yeah.
worry. You don't get me. I accept it. I wish you well. Please go your own way. I'll go my own way, and it's all good. You know, this constant trying to just be accepted by all is making so many people not be authentic at all. So I've just mentioned one of the reasons why people are not authentic. Can you share with us why you think people are struggling with authenticity? What are the things that are holding people back from being authentic?
Number one, the fear of rejection. That fear is
Mm-hmm.
real
Yes.
because it's innate in every one of us that we are,
Yeah.
because we are wired like that. You know, even when God created Adam and Eve in the garden, he said it's not good for man to be alone. So we are not wired or created to be alone, right? So the
Right.
fear of being alone, the fear of being rejected actually
Mm-hmm.
make people tone down who they are just to be accepted, right? The fear of being alone, the fear of rejection, make people just live inauthentically. Then, not knowing who you are,
Mm.
misplaced identity is also another reason why people don't live authentically. Because, like you said, if I don't know who I am, people will define me now.
Mm.
And if I don't know who I am and people are defining me, so that means depending on who I'm with per time,
Yeah.
that's what the definition of who I am would be. So I could be, so it's just when you don't know, because for example, even as women, as we are already multifaceted. We are
Yes.
sisters. We are as men as well. We're sisters. We are sisters. We are mothers. We are wives. We are. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The fathers too. They are fathers. They are brothers. They are uncles. They are, you know. So if you don't know who you are in the center at the core. So every time somebody says this is how you just begin to
Yeah.
like Christmas lights, flash different lights, and that is not and that is not to say we cannot express ourselves in different manner. We can express ourselves in different manner, but when you know who you are coming from that place and saying, "Oh, I am an energetic being," right? So
Yeah.
everything I do, it speaks about a kind of positive vibe. It transmits into a positive vibe that inspires people. So whether I am singing, I'm a singer. Whether I'm singing, when I sing, you get inspired. When
Yeah.
I speak, you get inspired. When I do things, I'm not even speaking to you, I'm not talking to you, but I'm doing my own thing. I'm trying to fulfill my own purpose. I'm trying to work on my giftings. I'm working with my giftings and everything. And somebody is
Yeah.
looking at me doing those things and they are getting inspired. So I know deep down that there's one thing about my identity is I'm this
Yeah.
energetic being who spreads that spirit of inspiration to people. I inspire people. Whether I know it or not. So wouldn't it be better if I know it? Because now when I know it, it also helps me make decisions. Because then
Yeah.
I know if I'm doing something, if I'm about to do something stupid, I will know that hey, you can't do that. You can't do that because there are people just waiting for you to do something so that they can be inspired. So when you do something stupid, you don't know how many people are going to go with you into that stupidity. So it helps you also keep in check. Like it's just so powerful. It's just powerful. So the one thing that make people not, live the authentic life, their authentically is not knowing who they are, you know, not knowing who they are, or even when they do, the fear of accepting who they are in their totality. So some people want to accept only some parts of them, only the good parts, and leave out the bad parts, right? Or the not so good part. But the truth is, you have to be whole. You have to be whole to function. Like you said,
Yeah.
there is a wire, there is a reason God left that flaw in you, and for a season. There
Yes.
is
Yes.
something that you need it for a season. And that's why it also provides a way for you to work yourself out of that flaw per that season so that you can move on to the next level. So if we see it like that, then people are not afraid of just being themselves totally. So yes, I still mess up sometimes and it's okay. I'm a work in progress. I'm not going to rub it on people's face. I'm not going to say, yes, that's how I am. No, I am sorry for every time that I mess up, but I'm a work in progress, working on reducing the amount of time that I mess up. But if I don't accept what you don't accept, you can't work on. Seriously.
Mm.
If you're a chronic liar and you don't accept that you're a liar, you cannot say the truth. Like it will become so bad that you will be lying and you will believe your lies. And there are people
Yeah.
like that. And I'm like, my goodness, how did you get here? Like you are like it comes because they are rejected to see that that is a problem. So if you don't accept, the fear of accepting themselves in totality also stops them from living their authentic life. And one
Mm.
thing that I know that can help people do that is just going in search of, for me, one thing that helped, like I said, being in communities of, coaching communities where they started to open, my mind. I went through PQ, positive intelligence, positive IQ, yeah, positive intelligence. I went through that coaching for about 12 weeks or so with Coach Shazad. That really helped me in understanding and noticing my saboteurs and my sage.
Yeah.
Both of them are not, none of them, nothing is bad in this world. It depends on how you apply it. Like everything has a purpose. That's what I mean to say.
That's right.
Because, for example, if you say, mosquitoes are bad. No, there is a reason God created mosquitoes. There is a purpose in the whole of
Exactly.
creation, in the way that nature is. There is something that mosquitoes do that help the universe operate the way it operates. There is a way that the
Nothing
serpents,
is useless.
snakes, it's exact nothing is useless. So it's just knowing the purpose of which it is created and using it for that purpose. But most times we use things we use things wrongly.
Mhm.
We abuse things, right? So it's like so we have our saboteurs and we have our sages. Sometimes these saboteurs are there to warn us, to tell us that, see, there is better. Because you cannot appreciate light if you don't know what darkness is. It is when you know darkness that you appreciate light. If you don't know sadness, you can never appreciate joy.
Mhm.
If you don't know loneliness, you can't appreciate companionship. So everything has their purpose. So it's just you being aware and accepting that, okay, this thing has a purpose. It has a reason why it is here. Why
Yeah.
is it here? Go in search of it and know. So, when I went through that course, I was able to know, okay, that, okay, I found that I'm a people pleaser, right? I'm an hyperachiever, right? There are some of those scores. And so now I knew, oh, this is it. Okay. So now I need to work on, yes, I need to work on not pleasing people, love people
Yes.
genuinely, help them from my heart, but I'm not going to go not to the detriment of who I am, not
Simple.
to me denying who I am, not to me discarding or discounting who I am or what I carry or the giftings that I have. Even if you are the richest person in the world, yes, you are
Hmm.
rich, but there's something that I have that you don't have. And that one thing, I'm proud of it. It is,
Yes, so.
it is what I have. It is what I have, and it's from that overflow that I'm able to bless lives, right? So it goes to saying you need to really know you, and I think that's the foundation of it. Really know who you are and accept it, so that you are able to know why are these things there. Brings me to that. There's this book by Tim Lai, Why We Act the Way We Do, talking about the
Mhm.
temperaments. Why are they
Yeah.
there? So when you understand them, then you're able to apply them accordingly to your life. The ones that you can adjust, you can adjust and say, I'm sanguine, okay, nothing. So everywhere you go, you'll be doing yama yama. No, even though you're sanguine, it's possible for you to still borrow some choleric traits when it is needed. Do you
Hmm.
understand? So, but being
Of
aware of
course.
it, knowing it, that's when you're able to now adapt it and make it work for you to be a better person.
Absolutely amazing. And you've really, really spoken the truth about some of these reasons. And as you were speaking, it just came up again in my mind that self leadership, because self leadership stems from self awareness. And many times we make excuses and then, or we have the wrong perception about things. And then we go like, oh, I don't really like myself. I prefer, I wish I would was this way. So
Be
this
like,
comparing ourselves with others can lead us into not wanting to live an authentic life because we feel the grass is greener somewhere else, and then we aspire to be someone else. And then of course, as I said, self leadership, not being honest enough to say that this is who I am, and I know that I do flare up easily, and I need to deal with that. Just as where you were talking about being a people pleaser, I always call myself that. I'm a VVIP card carrying member of the Recovering People Pleasers
people
Club.
pleasing.
And so I've had a lot of backlash with people because of the fact that they were like, you have changed, and I'm like, actually I'm
I'm being
actually
me now.
self-expressing more. Like, I've got into that age and space where I'm like, you know what, I ain't gonna take this. I'm just gonna tell you as it is. I'm a straight talker. And many people say, oh, you like diplomacy and stuff, and I'm like, the reason why you say I like diplomacy is because you don't want to hear the truth, and you want me to also
Mm,
put it in a way. And I said there are people that are called to do that. I'm not called to do that. Me, I'm just going to hit you right straight with it and tell you that energetic EJ, sorry, you did this that was not good and stuff, and I feel you need to work on it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, I'm just going to tell you as it is and then let you deal with it, right?
mm.
And I said this, other people have been given the gift to be able to, hit you hard, but put it with so much sugar and spice and all things nice that you don't even
Bother it
know,
up.
I
Bother
said,
it.
I
Finger
don't do
burger.
that. I'm like a drill sergeant. I'm like, come on now, do this, do that, eliminate this. So, and I believe that for us to be able to be authentic, we have to be vulnerable. We have to be
Yeah.
vulnerable enough to speak our truth and to be able
Oh.
to identify the areas that we know that, come on, that look, I'm just an emotional person, and this is why I find these are my triggers, just as you said, knowing what your saboteurs are, knowing that they're going to be circumstances and scenarios that would bring out the worst of you, and being able to say that in hindsight, I didn't know that this were some of the things I ought to have been able to learn and then do better, because you can't be authentic without speaking about your missteps in life as well, about speaking about the challenges you have. Many people only want to share the success stories, but they're not going to share the struggles, the pains, the addictions, the things that they're still grappling with, because as we said, none of us are perfect, and we don't need to put up that facade for people to think that, oh, energetic EJ and Madame Merola have got it all going on in life. They're sorted, and I'm like, I ain't sorted to that point. You know, I there are many things that I'm excellent at. There are many things that I'm excelling at, and there are many things I still keep on going back to school at because I keep failing it. I still have to keep learning again and going back to that same level until I get it right. Why? Because many people would think that something is wrong with them, fundamentally wrong with them because they're still struggling with certain things. And that's why I say that understanding that we're flawsome is part of the beauty of authenticity, that we're going to have issues that we're going to grapple with, some for a much longer period of time. Some we're going to probably grapple with it for the entirety of our lives, you know?
Mm.
And we have to be okay with the fact that we are honest enough to admit it, that look, if you push my buttons, I'm going to snap. And it's not
Yeah.
because I don't love you, it's not because I don't respect you, but it is one of my fundamental flaws that I'm still working on. And you know, some days are better than others, but there's a day that you're just going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to come
And you're
back,
gonna get it.
you
You're
know.
gonna get it.
So being able to say that, you know, would also free somebody else enough
Yeah.
to accept themselves, because they're just sorry, because every
Yeah.
time we feel like everything needs to be fixed, and this we can't fix everything. So we have
No.
to prioritize what needs to go and what we just learn to be comfortable with living with, you know, for the entirety
Absolutely.
of our life.
Absolutely. You know, I struggled. I struggled with being vulnerable. Like, ah, ah. Because, and it didn't even occur to me. It took somebody just said it just in passing. Like, I think you're a perfectionist. I'm like, me. No, me, how? Like, how? Because, like, I don't really care. I don't pay attention. I don't pay attention to details like that. I'm sanguine. How can I be a perfectionist? But I realize that sometimes these traits do not
Hmm.
apply to all areas of our lives.
Absolutely.
Sometimes these traits can just be visible in some other areas. And so, but later on, like, because the truth is, there are just looking back at it now and thinking about it, I'm like, oh wow, okay. I think in this area, yes. Because before now, I would, if I envision a thing in my mind,
Hmm.
let me use an event for example. I want to do something. I think about like, okay, this is how I want this event to go. If anything happens that switches that plan 1 centimeter away
Hmm.
from the original plan, I freak out. I would freak out. Yoruba people say I will baraje. Like I will just be upset completely, uncontrollably.
Wow.
And I didn't know this thing that it was because I just wanted things to be perfect. The way that I think envisioned it, it must come out that way. Is
Hmm.
now I'm even noticing that it's the same thing that happens to
Inflexibility.
me. Yeah, it's the same that happens to me even with food. Like I'm very bad at eating, but the days that I want to, that I am really like it comes from my mind that I want to eat, I
Hmm.
need to see the food in my mind,
Hmm.
prepare it in my mind, and be satisfied with the way it comes out in my mind before I step out into the kitchen to prepare it. And if for any reason I'm unable to find a particular ingredient that makes up what I have in my mind, it destroys that meal for me. Like I'm like, you know what? No need. I'm not
I'm not
eating
making
again.
it. Hmm.
Like, and I'm like, whoa, yo. But now I've learned, like, see, just plan for contingencies. Things will never always go the way I plan it, no matter how much of a good planner I am. So when things don't go that way, what do? Accept it. Be quick to laugh at yourself too. And so I'm currently learning vulnerability. It's a hard one for me. It's a hard one for me, but we're
It's
there.
not easy for a lot of people. And I can't believe we've already gone 4 minutes past the hour already. So I
Oh
just
my
wanted to
gosh.
mention something that came up as you were talking about vulnerability right now. I just realized that Another thing that can be stopping people from being authentic is this avoidance tendency. Many people want to avoid things. They want to avoid conflict. They want to avoid rejection, just as you said. They want to avoid failure. So they just prefer to just avoid all the drama and avoid any of the things that might just, so they just be like, you know what? Let me just pretend, or let me just act this way to be able to make the other person feel like we're in agreement. But that is being inauthentic, because when you're not being true to who you are, or you make somebody else feel like this is the truth when it's not, that's being inauthentic. So I just realized that avoidance can also be one of the things. So you just don't want to get into it with people, and that is also a key driver of lack of vulnerability, because you don't want to be so real with that person. You don't want to be so transparent for that person to know that I disagree with you, or I don't understand this, or whatever. So you just prefer to avoid it altogether. Wow. Guys, honestly, we could go on and on and on, and it will still not be enough time for us to be able to talk about the necessity for authenticity, especially with my special guest for today, energetic EJ. It's been so amazing. So I'm just going to ask her some quick fire questions about her personality, about her life, and then we can end the show. So, energetic EJ, what is your favorite color?
Black, I would say. I love black because it's easy. It's easy. You can blend in anywhere.
That sounds like a lazy way. Like, oh, it's easy, it's easy. Okay, so that's kind of funny. All right, so what is your favorite food? Favorite Nigerian dish, and then favorite continental dish.
So, like I said, I'm really bad at food. So I go with my mood. But maybe let's just say a food that I probably cannot say no to easily. Like if it comes to me, I'll eat it anytime, any day, right? That's what I'll go with because say bread now. So it comes with me in seasons. Plantain is one, fried plantain, dodo specifically, is one that
The
is one food
dodo
I know
guys,
anytime. Bring
wow.
it on, bring it on. Even if I'm full, I'll keep it for the next day. That one for sure. Then for continental dishes, I love seafood. Anything seafood, really. I love seafood. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know, when you were speaking, I was in my mind, I was saying that, oh, once we're done, I'm going to go and eat plantain. And then when you now said it, I was like, go, gang, we can't help ourselves. I was just thinking, oh, you need to go and eat plantain. I was like, concentrate on what you're doing. The spirit of
As
plantain
a,
wanted to
as, a, as,
interfere.
as a matter of fact, I saw a video yesterday that I saved on Instagram. They say it's a Cameroonian dish. It's called
Okay,
Palavo DG. That
okay.
Palavo DG, that's food meant for director general. And what is this
Mm,
thing? It's like fried plantain. You fry the plantain separately. Then you now
okay.
fry chicken, vegetables, and then put the plantain like a porridge. And that's it. I'm
Wow,
like, eh,
good deal.
okay.
Then any way plantain is served, I'll eat it. Just leave it like that. Because when it's fried, I'm very happy. So, if you were to meet with one person that is still alive right now, and that person gives you 2 hours uninterrupted one-on-one time with them, which person would you pick?
Hmm, that's a tough one because I think I just did not consider that. But before now that I considered it, I think I'd like to sit with somebody like Oprah or Michelle, just to like just to tap currents, especially Oprah, the media person that she is, just to tap small currents.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, they're both on my list actually. So it's interesting to see that we have so many similarities. So if you can get an opportunity to travel in time 5 years backwards, 5 years backwards, what would you say to your 5 years younger version of you?
5 years. This is 2017. Hey, Ejiro. Mm, Ejiro. Leave everything you're doing right now and go in search of yourself. Go and find who you are. Like, go and find who you are. Just be sure of your identity so that you can operate from your authentic self because otherwise you are dying slowly without knowing it.
Oh my gosh. That is such a powerful statement to yourself. And I believe that would bless many other people that are listening right now. that search for who you are. That look, all these other things that we're looking for, and I don't know why it just makes me think of that scripture that says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all other things can be added." If you don't know your true self, everything else that you're doing, everything else that you're searching for will be
Back of
meaningless
house.
and can be completely misaligned with who you are until you are certain that you are operating from your zone of authenticity. So it's so important, ladies and gentlemen, find yourself. So when they say start with the why, I want to say start with the who. Start with who I am. Know yourself, and that way you'll be able to see the true value and start to operate from that space. It's been such an amazing time spent with you guys, especially with Energetic EJ, talking about the necessity for authenticity. The world is inundated enough with too many copycats, with people that are confused and don't know who they are and operating from a place of, inauthenticity. We want you to become an ambassador for authenticity. We want you to start to function in the fullness of your true identity, knowing who you are, knowing whose you are, and knowing what you've been called to do so that your value will not be denied. Your value would so shine in such a way that nobody will be able to say that they don't know who you are and what you bring to the table. Thank you
Mm.
for joining us today. And if you're
Thank you so
watching the replay, please, once you've watched this replay, send the video to someone else that you know is grappling with this whole thing about authenticity. Why? Because until you're true to yourself, you will live a life amiss because we've all been called and created for a purpose. May you not live a life out of purpose, doing what you think you are doing, which is not what you are meant to be doing. May you not live a life that is false, that is so inauthentic in such a way that people never understand you or never get you because you yourself don't get yourself.
much.
Find yourself and operate from that zone of authenticity because that's where the power lies. Once
Mm.
again, my name is Madame Merola. I've been your host for today's show. My wonderful guest is Energetic EJ, also known as Ejiro Osakede. You can find her on Instagram and on Facebook. If you search for Ejiro Osakede, you'll find her there. On Instagram, just type in Energetic EJ with the underscore, and she is there as well. If you need her services, you want her to coach you, you want her to be a voiceover production for you, please reach out to her. She's available. And of course, if you happen to visit the United Arab Emirates anytime soon, you can reach out to her as well because she's got services that she's able to provide for you in an extraordinary way and also with a very great price. If you need a coach that is a no nonsense coach that is going to be able to help you dig deep into who you are to find the core of your authenticity and value, I would love to recommend myself to you. My name is Madame Merola, and I am the bank creator that ignites the beautiful and bold, audacious, no excuses, God's masterpiece in you. Be true to you and do you 100% unapologetically. Take care of yourself. Have a great Monday and keep rocking because this month is still pregnant with many blessings for you. Make sure you obtain it and live a phenomenal life always. So, next time, take care of yourself and bye, everybody. Thank you all for joining. The replay will be up very soon on my Facebook and YouTube page in case you've missed most of the show. So, Energetic EJ and I, with big kisses to you. Ciao, people. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye, guys.